the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Wednesday, the 7th of February, our UPSC, and the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and Ghana Mayina Kasaye. Na ne Kasaye mo or outline and Nsem-Pii. Ya osusu se Nyankopon ya dom na Ghana fo nya rehemu wonimu na Ghana fo to abama no a obeye edi aboa oman yi. Now, from infrastructure to economics to digitization to education, baby, the Vice President etache wo. Now, from Wednesday, Ghana a man penyini abedi achiri ne wo flag bearer of the NPP kasa wie no. Nsem a oka no has been subjected to scrutiny from both the opposition, NDC, civil society organizations, and the ordinary Ghanaians. Now, you hear me say, and someone, the Vice President, they are today saying, and now over to me to one and more. A feasible, and a political talk. Now, or yempa saying, obesi ayeno. These are some of the debates going on around the country. But as usual, the National Democratic Congress has resorted to propaganda, to lies, and personal attack. Ya say omo to omo emrantie na omo ba wagum ya omo kan de animu enyina. Now, in the course of the week, yehunu Nsem-Pii ne nsem a wokeka enra ewe kosisi adwumadi so yehunu Felix Ofusu kwache ene Miracle Sabwaje banta hodo na ekoso enne ewe Adom FM bedwa ene Adom TV bedwa mu adwumadi so no Ernest Kofi Owusu Bempa ya dodo na afre na Aboa papon Nipa bi no atene nkache Aboa papon is back. Oni Kofi Adams ene lawyer Nsem-Pii ene MPP for bi aka ewa Adom TV enya sem ketwa boot for boot. Trust Ernest Kofi Owusu Bempa Aboa papon ene ye wodi bia ma wo mo pa we defend gallantly some of the issues raised by the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Tiabeko na yapotie Ernest Kofi Owusu Bempa ya dodo na efreno Aboa apapon dealing with NDC's lies and propaganda.
Say e-levy MPP na de buy na leader a transfer who say baby the direction at which the purpose of e-levy no de buy no sunsun sanso no bia nyoma bi ho as a leader no o your junior kind say bit much changing a character traits of a leader, great leader bia no take the necessary risk in outlining their vision. What you say? Anything no leader John Mahama no. Or no only the vision no the baby biano enkoyi. O share on one kasa as a person and in nyoma waye under his tenure. Actually clearly say he doesn't know how to manage the affairs of the country. It's when you look at the character of great leaders, visionary leaders, one of the attributes is that they are risk takers. What do you say? So Obejina say no akase. Say you about abolish e-levy. Ghanaians should even know the direction of a new leader and where he's going. Ebio, oka bibi fa say you share the way I will see by any or by as a vice president. Name your man why no would they compare the former president Nyoma why and leadership near the idea. President Mills who here John Dramani Mahama be taking over as a vice president. Then somebody to and NDC was is trying to run away from President Akufo-Addo's John Mahama clearly made it clear. Atabos we or there you pass why you know crown from no. This was his statement here. And I can read a portion to
statement
you.
Here.
Or make his statement
on the floor of Parliament.
Not the floor of Parliament,
okay.
The one that he was addressing his own party people about or no vision, any ideas, any deba. Okay, say he's lucky to serve as a vice president under Mills. But as a leader, he has outlined his vision of making Ghana a better place.
Okay.
This is John Mahama. Kofi Adams was there. He was one of the key year not to said Mibusa said na no cano na or diverting Kofi Mibusa na or diverting say or running away from Atamils a dead man who are Uba Bedina Diano Now we'll take you also. One would have thought say he will say he will continue with the or say he will move and take a new path. New path no dey call dum so no remember so. New path no na oma mine economy erane ya ma ori nam no man ka dumpe no. That's the new path that we are talking about. So Bawumia as a leader was served as a vice president under the former under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now also there is a new chapter. Akufo-Addo's vision or the man who as a vice president, the key role I will play. Vice President Ben since the Fourth Republic, and why is so functional and very effective than the Vice President Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia. We can compare John Mahama as a Vice President when it comes to corruption. We can compare a sitting president set up an investigative body to investigate John Dramani Mahama at Tamils on issues to do with an aeroplane. Yes, one kotum fra buchilimla. Atamels set up an investigative committee. Papa Bakwano a former army officer or Tuan Ananu Monsiedo. These are facts. Can you say that about Dr. Bawumia as a vice president? A sitting president will set up an investigative body against him now. Bibi science here. And you compare as we go along. No, Mami Emraso. Bawumia making serious statements about his achievement. Boka Mosi Kofi Adam tie kan economy ho asem. Now kan economy now kan the performance of the CBA. No are the economic indicators. Here, Bawumia made it clear, and I would like to read the exchange rate. We challenge the NDC on that. Meaning, and they say, one of the performance of the CD exchange rate. It is interesting to note that between 2013 and 2016, the CD, that is almost time, Kofi Adams more time, the CD depreciated by an average of 17.7%. Okay. Between 2017 to 2020, there was significant decline in the CD depreciation to an average of 7.5%. The average depreciation further declined to 6.8% between 2017 and 2021. However, following 30% depreciation of the CD in 2022, that is the highest. The average CD depreciation between 2017 and 2022 is 10%. So again, notwithstanding the global crisis and all the economic you perform better in terms of managing the CD than the NDC. And I think Kofi Adams to come. These are the figures. Bawumia is not a better manager of the economy. John Mahama managed a depreciation of 17%, unprecedented in the Fourth Republic, the history of the Fourth Republic. And the figures, the figures don't lie. It's here.
But also,
he has invited.
Jadinia or Dinija or Kanye money free. That may be ya or Kanye money free. I'm on a deba. You know, Nimi say under John Mahama. No, the 4 Ghana cities and a copedo.
You do 4 Ghana.
Under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he needs about 12 Ghana
then
cities.
Let's go back to.
And now,
let's go back to J.Kufuor's era.
Yes, certainly.
Let's go to J.Kufuor's era.
Yes.
And let's see who has messed the city.
Yes,
no. If you want to go there, Kufuor's time, the city was 1 against the dollar.
Yeah.
When NDC took over power, how was the city? It shot up to 5 point something percent.
So I don't to me also me say Ghana ni no to abadema President Akufo-Addo based on the promise say Jomama Mercy our exchange rate no was expecting say obekwa koto dollar from 4 Ghana cedis to 12 Ghana cedis.
Yes, and there are indicators unprecedented in the history of Ghana. Global market, world crude oil shot up to 100%. Unprecedented. Let me quote a year about one of the World Bank leaders or say, this crisis, a pandemic, global pandemic, this crisis is like no other pandemic in the history of the world. It doesn't know borders and it has no respecter of the person, of any phenomenon. But it is more likely to be likened to the Great Depression of 1935.
Okay.
Eti sa brena ni ewo mu a the dollar and the cedi after global pandemic air kono. Enye bi ni ne the circumstance within which we find ourselves in. As otiasie the World Container Company omo container if we are seeing the transport to Nyoma, it shot up to 150%.
Okay.
Within a year, container company the container a transport to Nyoma. If we are seeing a brand new woman embre papa, even Domama, the time that he was a leader and a Ghana economy, running nosedive, the State of the Nation's address. He told the nation, said China, economic situation, of course, for China, and I'm about Ghana. And it was a State of the Nation's address. So is it justified that today he himself went and stood somewhere in the United States and made a statement that the global pandemic has a repercussion in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian? And then he is the same person empowering Kofi Adams to veteran say Ghana for tum say sebi enyado the ekoso NPP Baumia and Aba. And even at all, looking at the economic management, despite the crisis, despite the pandemic, despite everything, who are the better managers of the Ghanaian economy? Who check all the indicators? They were running an economy of 3.5 to GDP. The time they left office. Today, as I'm talking to you, economy saying echo to GDP ratio when you compare. Etimenia, and your ma ye kika Kofi Adams kan wansem yamra dum so wansem a ode betu dwa a o kan wansem o kra de let's say react to certain points of make very important because there's a na ewia ne ababe torgeti Baumia's vision and in your modi to dwa they compare John Mahama dum so it will be a lie for anybody to tell me sit here and tell me say NDC for the soul dum so. And I'll give you 3 examples. Listen, my brother, it's not just a these are facts. Go and check. Atuabo gas processing plant. MPP Adnan by you say, as a visionary leader under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, you say gas almost produced to power generation was as low as 98 million cubic feet. And I'm giving you an example. We increased the capacity from 98 million cubic feet to 120 million cubic feet only at Atuabo. When we, yes, you say, sir, a gas flow nearby, they've already signed a contract of Sankofa gas contract. The most expensive gas contract in the world was signed by the NDC under John Mahama ENI Sankofa contract. $10 per MMBTU. Whether we like it or not, as a nation, we have to pay. Akufo-Addo ne gas supply. Akufo-Addo ne Baumia nyansemu. We have to combine Sankofa time and the Jubilee together. And what we call Sanzule tying all the gas pipeline together to shift power, to shift gas to the main Aboa power generation for power generation. Let me tell you, give me a simple just 2 minutes. We increase capacity. We increase capacity from a combination of all the three to 350 million cubic feet of gas supplied to Aboa. And then Takrady Regulatory and Metering Station capacity ana efa me channel the enter dum so ejai no capacity ana efa 109 million scarves
or say almost survey do so
me say no na make sure say gas to power generation na make sure no you increasing capacity in Takrady Regulatory and Metering Station kwan you increasing capacity from 109 under NDC to 405 million scarves
mobile power 2017 na dum so ho
me city na they make sure gas to power generation. So listen very well. From there, no.
Also,
Aboa
processing power in 2017. Na dum so wo ho.
Na dum so ewo ho.
In 2017.
Yes, of course.
Na ye wo ECG timetable. Ya dey run dum so Ghana.
Minia. Didn't you? Na me chiro na on pese me chiro because as ma me kan so me chiro technical year processes e di go akwa dum so end the Ghana. And that's 350 million scarves. You increasing that capacity, no. We were buying like crude $100 million additional to make sure say power your thermal energy your thermal plant no and then you free ama the gas supply and the man ya increasing capacity. Let me tell you, car power we push gas into car power and we are getting 350 megawatts. West African gas pipeline was supplying gas to an eastern enclave, and no, you're pushing your pipeline from here to eastern enclave, and no, my almost about 120 million cubic feet of gas. I know, my almost about 600 megawatts of electricity, and no, any the combination of car power, transporting power to the eastern enclave to supply Asogli and the rest. Any a combination of other sources of interventions, and no, and the solve do so. Those times you hear a trouble processing plant shut off. When you shut it off, you see that.
Yes.
And I'm saying no.
You see the timetable when you run doom so buy.
You buy no capacity they be kan ho ama dum so kania dum no. And no na me boss watch the one. Say a timely intervention of increasing gas supply. Gas supply for power generation. What you say? And no, you're one of the major interventions. Makacho Sanzule tying reverse flow from here to Atwabo, from West Africa, from Western region to the Eastern enclaves. I had do ben for my supply guy. Say West African gas pipeline shutting. There's gas flow for power generation, and no can be and ama do so consistent maintenance. It can be. And this time your maya make can a key. NDC are buying almost to me anye. Almost contract, one of the major contracts, I did Kotobe Kumba contract. I'm daring Kofi Adam say, ENI gas contract, the most expensive gas contract in the world was signed by under NDC. Etibaomiaka say, when we push an agenda of going into a new dimension in the energy sector, making sure say solar become one of the major interventions in making sure say we improve the energy sector. Okay. And one of the key. And you know, when it comes to box to box, facts to facts, me better the facts not all. Let Kofi Adams come and tell me say, Asema me can any other alternative for EB or bet me Ediaba. And you may catch on say key interventions help in solving do so. Oba Ghana card asema o kan ho asema.
No. I don't want this to shift to this, but let's deal with intra this thing because Nyama Bidre must be dealt with because
Nsem a o kan wa na me nim se na me no nya dwene o enso so metie Ghana card the o Ghana obi in 2009 ye kosan lie o krofro minua no mo krofro mo tie me kosan lie say ye ma o cheti bi say Ghana card o koye ye be ma Ghana card under mills o be kaya na o kumase a ye kodi lie me ne me maame kodi lie say ye kwa register Ghana card under the leadership of the NDC obi hu Ghana ni bi betima kire me say you process Ghana card for Obia. And they be a pilot. They do piloting. No matter for a few people.
Okay.
Maybe
on my side.
Maybe
me receiving my Ghana card. I think somewhere in 2012. And fortunately for me call me new one with the number na me wo for me old one I think me either 2010 or 2012 no. And the same number and the man me for new one year me call ekoko ye. And for that one, I know say under President Mills, no, you issue Ghana card. That time,
never me personally. Okay. I'm using my personal experience.
Okay.
And we're talking about the entire nation.
Okay.
A bold decision. So we're quite just okay. Say you should be how come millions of Ghanaians today can boast of. We're talking about NDC and MPP. You share leadership vision. Even granted, say they even wanted to issue a Ghana card. How many Ghanaians were able to get the card today? Almost about 17 to 19 million Ghanaian population can boast of Ghana card. And Ghana card out to be there was so much confusion
30 seconds
everywhere in terms of this identity fraud in the system about Umiaka Wansem and omo under their leadership, ghost names all over the place. I need a pay pewene Uganda card kura under the visionary leadership of Bawumia. Team number ubi bia also. I'll bet you anything that you want to do.
Also,